Okay, so today I'm gonna work on, I'm just calling it Big Blue Vase. I've never done this mold before. It's a new mold. I got a whole lot of new molds, so a lot of this is experimental to figure out what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. This is another one of Devon's molds. Kind of a cool one. It's big. It's very big. The mold itself weighs almost 800 grams. I did my estimate based on what I think I'm going to need to fill it. This is where you put the mold on a scale, you fill it full of water. And this one took 950 grams of water. Quite a lot of water. Times that 950 times 2 gives me 1900. Divide 1900 times 5 gives me 380, which should be the amount of water that I use, about 380 grams based on what I'm working with my 4-to-1 calculation of simmental to water. So I came up with about 380 grams of water, which means I should need about 1,520 grams of simmental down here. Based on the 1900 that I used, I decided to up that based on the mold size. So I decided to use 1,600 grams of simmental instead of the 1,520. Since it's the first time I've done this mold, I prefer to overestimate on this one. I've noticed the bigger the molds get, sometimes these estimates can be a little bit off. So I've added in another 80 grams of simmental into what my calculation gave me. I think it's a safe assumption at this point. Worst case, I can always pare it down. Best case, I don't have to add any more to this. So I'm figuring about 1,600 grams of simmental and about 400 grams of water. I broke it up into two separates because, I'm doing my black and gold, and I can't do 1,600 grams of black and gold in one pour. It's just not going to look right. Most of the color will be up top, and the whole 3/4 of the bottom will be gray. So I'm going to do this in two pours, one on top of each other, and work from that point. So this is always one of my fun stuff to do. It's kind of, let's do some experiments. So I'm going to add the water to both of these right now and let it sit. It's like there's a little blue color in that one from a prior pour I did. I really don't care. It adds a little bit more to what I'm trying here. So I'm going to let that water go down a little bit. I got a little bit extra water here just in case I need it. Because I'm going to be putting in a lot of acrylic paint. So I want to make sure that I have enough water, because as soon as I start adding that acrylic, it's going to change how watery I basically have this. So I'm going to go a little bit out farther here. That's about as far out as I can get. So I'm just going to mix this one together. The other one is still like percolating over there. I'm not using a mask right now, so you guys can hear me talk today. I would do these in my 1 or 2 gallon containers, but I'm really not in the mood to get those out today. At least not for this stuff here. My thing here is to get this pretty well mixed. And then I'm going to kind of put my black and gold in here first. I've got an interesting little hue of blue. Must have been from my cobalt blue vessels that I made. Those are up on the website now. I think they came out really good. I may make a few more of those and take those out to our first market days. for 2023, which will be coming up soon. We're going back out on the road again. That looks pretty good. Just put that over there to keep that out of my way. Get me my black. Get me my gold. And I'm going to do this twice per pour because there's so much cement in here. I want to make sure that I get a decent pattern going down. I like to keep my... I really queued this up for the pour more than anything else. I'm just going to pour it right down the middle here. I'm going to pour about half of it, 3/4. Okay. So see, now that I don't got a whole lot of color in here, I'm going to put some more in the bottom. I'm going to run out of black soon, so some more gold in the bottom. And I'm mainly doing this just so I get a nice little mix in here. I want to get as much of that out of there as I can get out of here. Based on my calculation, I don't want to waste a whole lot of this. Okay, that one's pretty well empty. Okay, so we'll set that to the side. This one's been percolating a little bit over here. The water's been going down into that cement. Okay. And if you're looking at mold, I still got about 3 inches of mold to fill. I'm going to make a couple of these for our market. I really want to see how they go over because they are awful big. And I'm going to have to price them kind of high. So I'm going to make sure that I don't overprice and put them out of reach of anybody that wants to get them. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now, before I pour it, I want to make sure that this top is nice and it looks good. I wasn't worried about it setting up yet. I mainly wanted to make sure it wasn't overly flat. Okay, so going to do the second pour into here. I kind of like doing it this way because I think I get better layers. A lot of acrylic paint in this thing, so I want to get a lot of them little bubbles up. Okay. I do want to make sure we get a good flat bottom here. I'm just letting this thing bubble away, and it's all the acrylic paint coming up to some of that reaction with that paint. I did this in another one where I brought up the point of the more I do this, the less sanding or filing or whatever I have to do at the end. So it's always wise to, especially on this custom stuff here, to spend some time at this point. Don't just pour it and run, because you pour it and run, you may be sanding a lot later, and I don't like to sand. Personally, I don't like to. I think it's kind of a waste of time at times. I know at times you have to, but at times it's too much. Okay, so that's poured. How much left did we have in this thing, in this one here? I'm going to turn my scale back on, and let's see if I can push this out of the way. Cool. Get my scale. Okay. Yeah, cool. So these normally weigh about 19 a piece, empty. These little TCP global mixing cups. I kind of like them because they're cheap. I get like 50 of them for like 20 bucks or something like that. So it's no real big deal if I got a oven that goes bad. I really don't care. Okay. So remember, I upped my cement here because I wanted to be over on it instead of under. So I still have 132 grams on my scale here. That's with the container. Let's take off 20 for the container. So it leaves me about with 112. Okay, we do 112 divided by 4. That's 8. That's 32. So that's about 28 of extra water that's in there. So if I go 2 minus 28. That leaves me about 84 of extra simmental. So my original of 152 that I took, a 1520 to 1600, I could have left it at the 1520 instead of taking it up to the 1600 of simmental. This may have been a little tight. I don't want to waste 80 grams of this. So what I'll probably do for the next time I pour this, instead of doing 1600, I'm going to split the difference between 1600 and 1520. So I'll probably take this number here instead of using 1600. I'll probably use 1560 simmental and 390 of water. Then I'm not wasting as much. I know I'm still going to be over, and I prefer to be over than under, because if you're under, then you have to play catch up, and I don't want to play catch up on any molds. So that's it for this one. I'll demold this one about 4 p.m. today, so I may post this tonight, I may not post this tonight, we'll see. And then we'll take a look, see what it looks like, and I want to show you a lot of the things I've been working on. So that's going to be the next couple of videos coming up, or a bunch of stuff that I've created this week. Trays and more trays and vases and more vases. So I want to show all those, so I'm going to post those next. So thanks, bye. Okay, so let's demold this and we'll see how this goes. It's supposed to be a pretty big vase. It's been drying or should I say curing for the last 4 hours. So let's see what we got here. Yeah. Come on. Well, that's a little fat little vase, isn't it? It's like, how long is that thing? That's a big vase. Well, that looks pretty cool. It definitely looks pretty cool. I'm working on this on the bottom. The lip then. That looks pretty cool. Right down the middle. Weighs about 4 pounds. Huh. I like that. That's kind of cool. Well, that's it. I'll tack this on the other one, and we're done with this one. Okay, bye.